So hello and welcome to the live stream. Whether you are live with me now, thanks for joining me, or if you're catching me on the replay, I'm glad that you could make it here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how do you create overlays for your live streams. So I get a lot of questions about how do I do all my overlays, both the animated ones and the static ones. And I was kind of holding back on this one a little bit because I was like, oh, it's kind of like my little secret sauce. But I've gotten so many questions that I thought, okay, better tell them how I do it so that they can, create their own animated overlays or static overlays for their live streams as well. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sara Nguyen, and I help coaches, consultants, and creative pros build their business using video with ease. And I live stream a lot about live streaming to help you live stream better. Make sure that you check out the links in the description because I'll put the timestamps to all of this training so you can go back and you can look at the specific parts in case you've missed something, or you can jump forward to a part if you feel that's what you want to do. So links in the description. Now let's talk about a little bit of overlay basics. So what is an actual overlay? So I get lots of questions about the fancy overlays that you just saw. So the little, lower third animated bubbly thing, the little links in the description bubbly thing, as well as static overlays that I do. So overlays are essentially graphics in one form or another. And they can either take up your entire screen, kind of like this one here. This is a full screen overlay graphic, or they can take up part of your screen, as you can see by the cat over there. And they can be a combination of images and text, or just be images or just be text. And they can also be static, so like that image that doesn't move of the cat that you can see there, or they can be animated. And the big question I get asked is, well, how do you create your one? How do you create that fancy bubbly one as well as all the ones that we see on your actual live stream? And there are two ways that I actually do it. And people don't realize that, there are lots of ways to do things, but the first way that I use to create the animated overlays, like the one that you see right now on the screen here, is an actual this animation was created in After Effects. So I had a After Effects specialist actually design me a whole suite of animated overlays, they were just animations at the time so that I could use them in my videos. And she took a brief. I told her I wanted something beautiful and colorful yet elegant and simplistic, and she took that brief and ran with it and came up with a whole suite of these animated overlays. So what I have to work with now is an Adobe After Effects file, and it's all really complicated. I end up exporting the files as a .mov file and make it transparent, as well as exporting it as an Apple Res 4444 file. So this is a really complicated way of doing it, but this is how I get these particular ones. I didn't actually design these animated overlays myself. I had a specialist do it. And now I just use them and I play them when I do my live stream. So that's the first way that I do my one. So that's a disclaimer that these bubbly ones, I didn't actually create. Someone else created them for me and set them up as a template so that I can then just, adjust them in terms of changing out the text and export them myself. But it does require some skill, and I kind of feel like I just hack my way through it, but it's a template that I use. You can also purchase After Effects templates on markets like Creative Market, and Vado have a whole range of templates as well, and it's one way to do it. And it gets the job done, right? So that's the first way that I do it. The second way that I create my animated or my overlays is I actually use Canva, and people don't really realize how versatile Canva is. And I actually use Canva to create majority of the overlays. So for these, I call them branded overlays, where it's like my lower third and, very brand related ones, they will be these animated ones. But for everything else where I'm doing teaching points or where I'm, promoting towards the end, they're all Canva. And I use Canva because they've got so many pre-existing design elements that I can use that I don't need to design from scratch. So I can get a really beautiful design component that I can generate as an overlay and use it that way. So it may sound a little bit complicated right now, but I'm going to walk you through how it all actually happens so that it makes a lot more sense. So let's go over to my computer now, and I'm going to, pardon me, show you how I actually generate the overlay. Now I'm missing, why am I missing from the screen? That's okay. We're just going to roll without it for now. Oh, I know why. That's okay. So this is Canva, and with Canva, you are able to go ahead and really just design whatever you need to be designed. If you haven't already, if you're not familiar with Canva, check out the links in the description, because I have a link to my entire playlist where I go through how to use Canva step by step. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to walk you through how to create a lower third. I'm going to walk you through how to create teaching point overlays and image overlays and some animated overlays, and I'll also walk you through how to download your overlays. So let's go over now and let's get started. That was a bit glitchy. So the first thing I want you to do, and we're going to talk about creating your lower third overlay, right? So I want you, in order to create your lower third overlay, is to create a design, and we're going to go with the dimensions 1920 by 1080. Okay, so we can go create a design on the top right hand corner, go to custom dimensions, and just type 1920 by 1080. This is the standard video size, and create new design. And now that you have this canvas, this will be where we start to put together the elements of our lower third. Now, here's a couple of hacks so that you can do it quickly, because with Canva, you can, design from scratch and build it out that way. But here are some hacks to help you design from scratch quickly and have something really good, because sometimes when you design from scratch, and you know what I mean, it doesn't really look really good. So I want you to go to Elements. I want you to type in the search bar, I want you to type rectangle. All right, and then you've got all these rectangles here, and this will begin to build the base of your lower third, so that, bottom third, when you live stream, that has your name and your title on it. So keep scrolling till you'll see any of these rectangles will work. I really like this one, so I'm going to choose this one for the purposes of demonstrating. Add a rectangle to the page, then you can resize it, as you can see. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and drag it out. And we're starting to form the basis of our lower third. Okay, so this is starting to come together. Now you can make the rectangle go the entire width of the screen. I'm just going to have it about here and about this height, because that's how I want it. Then you add text. So first thing we selected was elements. The second thing we're going to select is text. I'm going to select, this one. So they've got a range of text, whether you choose font combinations that are already pre-made. Once again, you don't have to design anything from scratch. They've already got beautiful, fonts and layouts. Use them if you like them. Otherwise, you can just add your own. I'm going to add my own. No, I'm not. I'm going to add this one. I'm going to use this one here. I'm going to ungroup it because I don't want to use the whole thing. And then this text here, I'm going to put my name. I'm going to resize it. It's on the top right hand here. With Canva, anything that you do to the element, anything that you can do to an element will appear in the top menu here. So that's a tip for you. That is a little bit large, so I'm going to resize that. I'm going to make it white. It's starting to come together. So I've got the first part of my lower third. I have a rectangle so it can appear on the screen. I have text as my name, and then I'm going to add a little bit more text, which will be my actual, you can put whatever you want. So you can put your title, you can put your website. I'm going to put a title. Then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger again, and then change the font to be something that I like. Let's go, there we go. Now, And I'll make this white as well. As you can see, it's just coming together really quickly and really easily. All I did was I chose a rectangle, I added my actual title, I chose the fonts and the colors that I wanted, and then I positioned it in place. The other thing that you can add to your lower third quickly is if you go to elements, you can type, originally we typed rectangle to find that, but you can find shapes, right? And you can find, you can find all sorts of shapes, you can find all sorts of graphics. So I'm going to find something relating to, there we go. So I'm going to find this queen graphic, resize her and add her to the overlay. So there you go. Like that, I've got the basis of a really quick and easy overlay for my lower third. And you can play around with the sizing to get it to how you want. But like that, all we did was we created a canvas image, then we added a rectangle and some text, and then we added some images to it. And as easy as that, you've got your overlay. I'm going to do one more example as another way of a quick hack of doing it. When we typed in rectangle in the elements, if you keep scrolling, there's so many different things that allow you to create this lower third easily, right? You don't have to build out the rectangle from scratch. So here we go. Look at this one. This nice little shape, pre-made shape here could work as something. You could easily size that, and then I could add text to that. So let's go to, there's also like this nice little, painted swatch. So there's so many different things that you could choose that end up being the basis of your overlay. So, rectangle is probably the best hack that I found when it comes to lower thirds, because you can just choose whichever one you want and then put text over it. And then boom, you've got an actual overlay. So that's tutorial number one, so how you can actually create a lower third. Now, if you're saying, oh, I really want it to fill the whole screen, fine. You can build it from scratch. So all you would do is you would go to rectangle, select the square, and then with the square, you can just drag it across the screen. So then you have the lower third go across the full width, so all of the color there, and then obviously you would add your text. So you could add, your title, your name and your title. And then you could add another rectangle to add more color to it if you want. So easily you could duplicate this one here and make it a different color. Let's go pink. You get the gist. So you just build it by adding the elements on the actual page. So that's how you would create an actual lower third. Get the size right, get the 1920 by 1080. Then, start to add the elements to the page. Now, when it comes to downloading it, and I'm going to show you how to upload it into Streamyard in a moment, but what you want to do is to download it, go to download on the top right-hand corner. Then I want you to select PNG, and you need to tick transparent background, PNG only. Now, this is a feature for the paid version of Canva only. And before you get hating on me, check out the link in my description, because I've got a link that will allow you to sign up to Canva Pro, the paid version, so you can download and create your own overlays free for 30 days. So you can do it for free using my link, but it has to be using my link and a new account. So that's how you can do it for free using Canva, but it is a paid feature that you need to use. So that's what I want you to do. If you have multiple, choose the page that you want to download, and then download the file, and then Canva will create the PNG file for you that you can then upload to your live streaming software. So that's how you would actually download your lower third. Now I'm going to show you how to do a couple more things, a couple more hacks that I think are really handy. The other thing that I said I would teach you to do is how to actually create overlays for teaching points. Now this is probably one of the best hacks that I found and I use a lot, is when I am on a live stream, you will see sometimes on the screen, I'll have teaching points and there'll be text and images. And I don't actually build any of them from scratch. I use Canva and I use elements to do that. So how do I do that? To actually create that, I want you to search two things. Mobile first presentation I found is a really good template to get you started. But for now, let's go to presentation. So let's create a presentation. Actually, we're going to duplicate. So we're going to go ahead and select presentation. because we want the size 1920 by 1080. But we're working with a blank canvas and we're going to create stuff that we can add to our live streams as we're teaching. I really love in their presentation templates, their events and special interest presentations. You'll see that there are a bunch of templates here, and in these templates, I use components of them. I don't use the whole thing. So you saw in the live stream earlier, I had on my full screen overlay this, right? And this was just taken from this template. I took off the text, I love the images, and I just changed out the color. See what I mean here? You don't have to use the whole presentation. You can just use components of it for your live streams. And let's talk about how we do that. Okay, so this was just one that I chose. I'm going to delete you so we can get back to this. All you need to do is find a presentation and elements that you like. So maybe, go through them and you'll see, like maybe this one. This one's a good one for some text because, you've got some text on the side here that you can have as 2 points, and then we can delete everything around it. So you may be saying, what is she actually talking about? I don't really understand. So let's make this really, really clear so that you can understand it. So with overlays, as you know, if you don't want it to be full screen, all we need to do is we need to delete all the stuff that we don't want to be in the overlay. So let's just say that we want this text section to be the text that we want in the overlay. Let's put it on the right-hand side, put it on whichever side you want. Once you've got that section, you can do two things. You can either download it just as itself to appear on the to appear as your overlay, or you can put a slight background on it. So I'm going to go to elements and I'm going to put a rectangle here, and I'm going to fill it just like this and position it to the back. And now, in terms of my overlay, this entire section here obviously will be color, and the rest of this white space here, that will be the transparent part. Right, so you have the choice of either, doing it just as this section here or as a block section. So it's really up to you on how you want to do it. But once you've used the presentation elements, delete everything that you don't want to appear on the overlay, right? And then when you actually go to download it, go to download, once again, select PNG. You need to select transparent background, right? And go download. And then this then creates that file for you, and you'll see and I'll upload it shortly so you can see, but this is transparent here. So that's how you would do it. If you want to create really good overlays for your live streams and you want to use ones as teaching points, take elements from their presentation templates. This is what I do. I absolutely love their templates, and you'll see that there's just so many components. You don't have to use all the pages, but you can just use like the text component or like the side of it. And this is literally what I do. Like, I don't actually design much from scratch anymore. I literally just go and find a template that works for me. This is a good one. I would, use that text, use that color scheme, resize it, put it on the side of the page, remove everything that I don't want to have on the actual overlay. So just, change the text, then delete the background, and then download that as a transparent overlay. And that will have my teaching points, and I'll display that on the screen at the actual time. So that's how I would do the teaching point. Now, the other hack to get you some really good template designs is if you go to Canva and you look at their mobile first presentations, you'll see that these are designed and you don't even have to really modify them. So let's just choose one. These are already designed to be minimal because the purpose of them is to be used on an actual mobile. So think of this as an actual overlay, right? You could just have like, you wouldn't even need, I think that it could just be a title, and then you can have your 3 teaching points, and that could be your overlay there, right? You could either download this itself as a transparent file, So you can go to download here, go to PNG and download that as a transparent file. Or if you wanted to, you could copy it, like select it all, copy it, and then paste it into your actual design. So like that. And this way, if you're putting it on a 1920 by 1080 canvas, you'll know that it will fit exactly, or this will be exactly the size that it will appear. Whereas if you're doing it not as the 1920 by 1080 size, the sizing can be a bit hit and miss. So this is how you can ensure that it will appear on the screen like this, or wherever you want. So here or here, wherever you want it to be, you would just go download, PNG, and then transparent background, and then choose the pages that you want to actually download, and then it will download. So that's how you you would do it for teaching points. And this is literally what I do. This is how I have really nice teaching point overlays for my live streams. I don't design much from scratch. I just use the elements that they already have, and that's and then I export them, and then I upload them into my actual live stream when I'm actually doing it, and then play them. So let's talk about images now. So let's just say you don't want to add any text, you just want to add images. Can you do that? Of course you can. So you would just search in the element for whatever image you want. So maybe you want an image of a cat, you know, if you want, you can just choose it, add it to the screen. Alternatively, if you wanted a photo, you would go to photos, search for whatever image you want. As you can see, I've got the cat thing going. And then you can choose an image there to add to your live stream, or, you know, this one has a bit of a background on it. So with the image, if you select it and go to effects, you can remove the background so that it can appear nicely cut out for your live stream. And then Canva will do their magic and cut it out for you. Hopefully it works. I am live, so anything can happen on an actual live stream. Like that, and it would just cut it out for you. And then you can literally just position it where you want it to appear on the screen, and then you've got images. Now, how do you add animated overlays? Now, I have to say that with animated overlays, with animations in Canva, you can't download them with a completely transparent background yet, but there's a little workaround. So let's just say that you wanted to add an animation, or you designed something and it has animation components. So let's just say that, well, first of all, to find the animations, let's say you wanted to add an animation of the sun, right? You would search in elements, and then you could filter it to be just animated. Then all of their animated GIFs would appear on the left-hand side here, and you would select what you want to appear, you know, whatever animation you want. So this is a little bit big. The problem is if you download this as a GIF file, the whole background would be white. No, the whole background would be white. So you wouldn't actually download it as that. So GIFs don't have a transparent background at the moment, but if you incorporate it into an actual design, that's how you kind of work around it, if that makes any sense, which I'm sure it doesn't, because it's doesn't really make sense until you actually do it. So let's talk about now, how would you actually add your overlay? So I'm going to go over to my favorite tool, which is Streamyard. And in Streamyard, I've decided to use Streamyard as the software of choice because I find them the easiest to use for people who are new to live streaming and the most feature rich. So with the overlays, you would go to brand on the right-hand side here. You would go to this overlay section, and then you would select the upload overlay. So click on that, and you'll be able to upload the overlays that we just created. So going to have to export them. Just give me a moment. I will quickly export them so that I can actually, there we go, add them. So let's go again. We're going to open up that beautiful overlay, and then that's going to make it available on my screen. And then all I need to do is select it when I want it to appear. That's the overlay there. So the lower thirds that we've created earlier simply just appear once we select them, and they disappear once we click off them. And that's your crash course in overlays. Now, I find that people get a little bit caught up with overlays because they're fun to do. And I think people also feel that they have to have overlays in order to have a professional looking live stream. And that's really not true. And people also feel that they need to have animations in order to have a high-end professional looking live stream. And once again, that's not true as well. These are nice to have, and which is why I caved in and I decided to do a tutorial on it. But you can do it really quickly and easily using Canva. It doesn't have to be animated. If you want to take it to the next step, I would suggest using a animation specialist to create something for you, but it's expensive. I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for mine because I paid a lot, and it took a little while as well. So I don't recommend right out the gate paying a lot of money, particularly if you're new to live streaming. But if you want to create some nice overlays, your lower third, overlays to have some teaching points, overlays to add a little bit of personality to your live streams, then Canva's the way to go. And I've just showed you how to hack your way through it and how to do it quickly using, elements of their presentation templates, elements of their elements, and how to download them so that you can get overlays going quickly and easily for your live streams. So that essentially wraps us up for today's tutorial and today's live stream. If you found this video useful, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See, I created this one in Canva as well. Nothing fancy. This wasn't the animation specialist. This is me. You can probably tell because it's like quite basic. I live stream a lot and I cover social media tutorials. I cover all tips and tricks to help you grow your business using video and live streaming. And if you really do want to take your live streams to the next level, make sure you check out my Facebook Live Masterclass. Links in the description, and I'll get it on the screen as well. I show you how to convert your Facebook Live viewers into buyers so that you can really get Facebook Live and live streaming working for your business. Now, thanks so much for joining me, everyone live here and everyone on the replay, and I will see you on the next live stream. Bye for now.